Patch notes just got out, guys, so now in this video we get to see what the actual buffs and nerfs are gonna be, and they are going live in about 45 minutes after this video goes live. I will be streaming live on Twitch right after the patch comes through, so I'd be happy if you actually drop by and we can chat live. But yeah, in this video I'm gonna go over all the buffs and nerfs, and I'll tell you what I think that's gonna be meaning for the meta. So if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hang for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's check out the patch.
Prepared.
Okay, so patch 30.0.3, and again, thanks Blizzard for providing us with this early so we can do these videos in a timely fashion. We can see that Zilliax is on the splash art, and yeah, this is the -1/-1 Zilliax, so let's see what that's about. Hearthstone updates, dev comment. Since the launch of Perils in Paradise, we've been happy to see a lot of evolving strategies, but we think there's still room for more new and interesting cards to get a chance to shine. Our main goal with this patch is to add more competitive options from Perils in Paradise. We're doing that by curbing a few cards that are showing up too often, and by buffing some new cards that have some room for improvement. We'll see how the meta reacts to these changes, and make further adjustments if needed in about 3 weeks. Okay, so we can already digest that we will be having another 3-week period where we get to explore and not have to worry about nerfs coming way too soon. That could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. Like, I kinda enjoyed the meta remaining the same for a couple of weeks after the expansion came out. It was definitely fun exploring all the different new decks we can be jamming with without having to worry too much about them being nerfed to the ground. So that definitely was cool, but if this actually does not fix the problem with some of the very annoying decks that we are facing, that might also be not such a great thing, and who knows, it might even create a new absolute meta outlier that forces everybody to play against it or with it. So yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword, but I think it's good that we're giving the meta a little bit more time to breathe. The following cards have been adjusted to be weaker. Hydration Station, old resurrect 3 highest cost taunt minions, and new resurrect 3 of your different highest cost taunt minions. Well, this is basically a nerf to Zilliax. Basically, you're not gonna be able to just plop one on Zilliax, let it die a second time, and then start rezzing them over and over again with Hydration Station. Now you're only gonna be getting unique taunts. So this definitely should be indeed curbing the power outlier of Zilliax. And it should be a lot less annoying to be facing those Zilliax warriors, that's for sure. I do believe this card is still gonna be seeing a good amount of play in the Highlander warrior variant of the deck, because they can resurrect Ham, they can maybe add another good taunt, and they will be set again. But yeah, this is definitely a good change to the card, because it has been quite annoying. And it's really not how the card was supposed to get used. Like, you were supposed to actually build a good several big taunt minion deck and use it like that, but Zilliax just made everything else a lot weaker, so what was even the point of trying something else? Moving down to Inventor Boom, and he's also getting the same treatment. Now he will be resurrecting 2 different friendly mechs that cost 5 or more. They attack random enemies. The problem with Inventor Boom now would be that if indeed you are trying to resurrect Ham like that, odds of him killing himself into something are kinda big. But still, this is again, same change, same mindset. You just don't want to be getting a bunch of Zilliaxes over and over again like that. You're still gonna get to have one, but 1 is gonna be the limit, so another good change. And probably Zilliax warrior is just not gonna survive this. Like, it's just a little bit too much for it. It's probably gonna have to evolve into something different. So yeah, time will tell on that front. Dev comment, Hydration Station and Inventor Boom are adjustments to reduce the repetitive and meta warping gameplay around the Virus Perfect Zilliax combination, sometimes called Zilliax, and another time called Zilliax, but what do we know? While this Zilliax is powerful on its own, it isn't proving to be a problem outside of decks that can repeatedly resurrect multiple copies of it. These changes will make that play pattern weaker and less repetitive. Moving now to Zilliax Deluxe 3000 ticking module. Now this is gonna be reduced to 4 mana, and it's gonna cost 1 less for each friendly minion. So you're no longer gonna be rewarded for the opponent actually playing extra minions on the board. This is gonna be solely on your part, and depending on how many minions you have, your Zilliax is gonna get reduced down further. So yeah, like I said in the last teaser video, things like Showdown Pally are definitely gonna feel this one, because they loved playing Showdown and discount their Zilliax by 6 like that, so that allowed them to literally have a 0 mana Zilliax as soon as turn 2 or 3. if the situation was correct for them. And this is no longer going to be the case for them, so definitely a big hit for Flood Valley right there. The Zilliax with the ticking and the +1 module costs 8, so even if you have 6 minions on the board, Zilliax can only go down to 2 mana now, so that is definitely going to be problematic for things that like to zerg the board like that. Evolve Shaman is going to be feeling this a little bit, Pirate Shaman, Pirate Demon Hunter, all sorts of decks that really like going wide, heck, even Pain Warlock. They will not be able to be spamming Zilliax like that. This is also going to be hurting Rogues, which loved playing several copies of Zilliax with the help of Sonya. It's going to hurt Zarimi Priest, so all around, the super fast aggro decks that relied on this are definitely going to feel this one. Dev comment, on the other end of the spectrum, the Ticking Pylon Zilliax combination has continued to be very popular in more aggressive board flooding decks. Perils and Paradise added some great board building cards, and now this Zilliax is a bit too much of a good thing. This change makes the card a little less powerful in those decks and also shifts the play pattern so that Zilliax no longer punishes other board-centric decks for fighting back on the board. Definitely makes a lot of sense. What does not make a lot of sense is Lamplighter, and he is getting from 3 mana up to 4 mana, and the stats also increase with +1/+1. I'm okay with this nerf. It's really not doing much, I'd say. It's gonna prevent rogues from willy-nilly spamming shit tons of Lamplighters over and over again with ease, but it's still gonna leave the deck pretty playable, which is, I think, a good thing, because right now we basically have a free-to-play mage that has very, very nice win rate, and you can literally reach Legend with that deck with literally just 3 rares in it. Nothing, no epics, no legendaries, just 3 rares, rest is commons, so basically a free deck. So yeah, this is a decent change, I'd say. Kinda inconsequential if you ask me. This is basically gonna prevent people from spamming tons of Lamplighters in the same turn, like turn 6 double Lamplighter was something mages love to do. They can still turn 6 Lamplighter and bounce it with the Brewmaster, but at least they're not gonna straight up be killing you, so it's gonna be more of a turn 8 kill instead, which I guess it's a good thing. I guess it's not that bad a change now that I go through it. The dev comment here is Lamplighter was made a bit strong to intentionally give an infusion to elemental strategies that never landed in prior expansions. We love that this successfully brought multiple decks in this archetype to the meta, but it has turned out to be a little too strong. This adjustment should make it a little slower and clunkier to combine with other cards on the same turn. So yeah, honestly, Shaman shouldn't be feeling this one too much, aside from it being literally able to turn 6 double Lamplighter to the mouth. Mage is feeling it a little bit more, but obviously Rogue is going to be feeling it the most because their OTK combo is going to be a lot more expensive because they won't be able to spam so many of them in the same turn. Moving down to Concierge, and I'm kind of afraid for this change, guys. Like, is this really what the card needed to do? Is this really a nerf that's going to change anything? Really? In this day and age? In this part of the country, at this time of the year, is this the change we really want to see? I don't know. I'm very skeptical this is gonna change much about combo Druid dominating, and it's not even about having super high win rate. It's about being a super annoying play pattern. Like, if you get the right cards, +1 mana means absolutely nothing, guys. Like, it's literally, it made it from a 3 mana combo to a 4 mana combo, basically, because you still get to play this and just spam the shit from the opponent. I don't think it was about the mana, dudes. I think it was just about the card draw landing around turn 6, turn 7. So bumping this mana 1, I don't think it's doing much, really. So this is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of this deck remaining hella strong for these 3 weeks. And I really hope I'm not right, but time will tell on that front. And moving down to Chia Drake, and as expected, it just got reverted back to its original form, which was a 2/4. The mini is still the same, the effect is still the same, everything is still the same. And yeah, I guess this is gonna reduce the sheer board presence and stat tempo for the Druid class. It is gonna be a slight nerf to the normal combo Druid deck, and also for the combo OTK deck, it's gonna be a little bit less damage poke in the early turns and a little bit less stabilization chance for them. Dev comment here, the Concierge Dragon Druid is a deck that can follow up early tempo plays with lots of burst damage from hand, sometimes a little too early in the game. The deck is very powerful, but we like that it's a new deck, and that the metagame has been adapting to it instead of folding. These changes slow down the deck's early combo turns a little and weaken its mid-game plays, but maintain the basic play pattern, which everybody loves, right? Right? If these changes aren't enough, we'll make further adjustments in our next balance window. And yeah, the above disenchantable cards will be eligible for full dust refund for 2 weeks following patch 30.03. And yeah, for you guys to easily find all of your nerfed cards, just go to your collection, write refund, and they're gonna pop out all of the refundable cards for you. And as always, I'm gonna remind you every time a refund window happens, if you're literally not playing the deck with those cards right frickin' now, it's always a good idea just disenchant those cards, get your full dust back for them. And if you later decided you still want to be playing with those cards, just craft them back for the exact same price. Because if you end up not ever touching those cards ever again, you've missed out on tons of dust like that, so definitely get your dust when you can. I'm not saying disenchant Zilliax, obviously everybody's still going to be using Zilliax left and right, but some of the other cards, definitely not a bad idea to disenchant, like hydration stations that are going to be giving you 100 dust per pop, Inventor Boom 1600 dust, or 32 if you have them legend, if you have them golden. The rest are freaking commons. Chia Drake, I would assume you'd still use it left and right. So yeah, I guess the nerfs here, the disenchants here would be hydration and Inventor Boom. If you have some golden copies of the others, definitely disenchant those. But other than that, it's probably just no real point in even doing that. Okay, the following cards have been adjusted to be stronger. Def comment, we've noticed that some of the archetypes from Perils and Paradise didn't land where we wanted them to. We normally don't do buffs in the first patch after the expansion, but since we gave ourselves more time for this patch, we have more confidence to take a few swings at underperforming cards and archetypes from Perils and Paradise. We hope these buffs will open up some new and exciting options for players. Starting off with the Recleaver, or is it Rycleaver actually? It comes from Rye, right? Nailed it. Anyway, Rycleaver becomes a 5 mana down from a 7, but also the minion sandwich becomes a 4 mana instead of a 2 mana, so technically it's a 0 sum, but it definitely allows you to actually drop this a lot sooner, like coin this out on turn 4, or heck, even play that pirate that equips a weapon from you. There's no pirate warrior, why am I talking about shit like that? Doesn't matter. But yeah, coin this out on 4, swing, turn 5 swing, and you get a 4 mana sandwich, and you actually get to sandwich all of those minions. Which is kind of cool, because you can deal with even Zilliaxes this way, you know? Like, if you sandwich their Zilliax, it doesn't die, it just gets put into the sandwich and you can summon it for yourself later, which is kind of huge. So yeah, this change might actually enable this card to see some play now. Definitely is going to get included in things like Highlander Warrior if that remains a thing, and I believe it should. So we should be seeing some more sandwich action in Hearthstone. Ranger Gilly, no surprises here, becomes a 5 mana instead of a 6. It's still kind of a weird card if we gotta be completely honest, but it definitely is gonna be fitting nicely in a Highlander Hunter. So I'd say that is definitely worth a check. God knows Hunter needs a little bit of love right now. Honestly, is Hunter really doing that bad? Like, I've seen some stats showing it with respectable results, but the play rate is just not there for now. I guess comboed off with the nerfed Zilliaxes, Hunter might actually be rising up in popularity again, but yeah, time will tell about that one. Razzle Dazzler, another mana shave. This becomes from a 7 mana down to 6. I showed you in the last teaser video that there was actually a decent-ish Razzle Dazzler Shaman out there with the weapon and cookie and some pirate synergies and a bunch of different spells. So this might actually be quite a good improvement for that kind of deck, because this is a lot of stat dump. For only 6 mana, should be getting a little bit more used, that's for sure. So this actually might be something I try even today on stream, so again, drop by, check out what we're up to. Natural Talent, like I said in the teaser video, this card is just trash if it doesn't have Discover, and it still doesn't have Discover. Sounds like trash to me. I don't know, man. Is it just me? Do let me know in the comments what you guys think, but to get a random Naga and a random spell that costs 2 less, like you could just be getting 1 mana Nagas anyway, so that's literally no change. This still costing 3 mana? I don't know, even if it costed 2 mana and still did this. I don't know, guys. Is it just me, or is this card absolute dog shit? Really feel like it doesn't get to see play even like this. Next up we have Buttons, and basically his mana and his stats go down -1, so you are going to be able to play this guy a little bit early. He is going to be drawing you a decent chunk of stuff. Like, there are actually plenty of things you could be drawing with him. Like, you could draw Frost Strike, Runes of Darkness, Corpsicle ain't too bad, Threads of Despair's Shadow, this thing is also Shadow. What else do we have? Another Shadow. Another Shadow with Grave Strength. Plenty of Frost action. This is also Shadow. Frost. Yeah, plenty of spells, so if you actually put in some strong stuff in it... Wait, is this thing in Wild? What the hell? Why is it showing me freaking Vampiric Blood in here? That doesn't work, right? Right? But yeah, you are gonna be drawing a decent chunk of stuff with this one, like probably 4 cards each time. So that's kind of hot. You could also use some Shaman spells like that, like... let's see what are the spells from the new set. There were nothing to write home about last time I checked. But yeah, you could be running this crap, probably wouldn't, because you have much better frost spells. This thing is fire, so that's actually kind of something. Feels a little bit too expensive for what it does, though. Matching outfits, you can include it, but it doesn't have a spell school, so there's that. This doesn't have a spell school, this has, but it's better if it didn't, like, who needs this shit anyway? So yeah, Buttons is going to be drawing a decent chunk of stuff. Should be seeing some play, but yeah, this guy probably is going to be seeing a bunch of play now, because he is going to be a lot more cheaper for you to actually draw a ton of cards like that, because at 5 mana he was kind of in the maggot zone, so this should be a bit better for him. Moving down to Cruise Captain Laura. She is also losing a mana crystal. Down to 6 mana, still summons you 2 random locations. I don't know, man. Random is just way too random for my liking. I don't see this guy getting included much. This is literally taking up 3 spots of the board for you, and Druid kind of likes to fill those spots with something a little bit more meaningful than random locations. Like, what are you even getting from those locations, you know? Feels a little bit on the weird end. Still wouldn't expect it to be seeing too much of a play. Next up we have Tsunami, and this thing goes up to 10 mana, but it's gonna be summoning 4 free sex elementals at freeze, and they still attack random enemies. This is kinda cool. It obviously makes it more expensive, but also you could cheat this out for free with the new squid that auto-casts the next thing you top deck. You could also actually have this bring back some Tendril decks, because there were no good face damage 10-drop spells, now they are, so this could be some OTK shenanigans again. But yeah, time will tell how this one turns out. Might be a little bit better in the autocast, even Druids, even in the autocast mage decks. I did try it on a big spell cast when drawn Druid on the Fury Crafting stream, and that looked promising, so this might actually be support for that more than anything else. Next up we have Service Ace. And we did see that this guy got used in things like Sith Mage. Now with this losing 1 mana, it might be a bit easier to actually do some stuff like that. It only loses 1 attack, so the health still remains decently chunky. And after this minion gains attack, reduce the cost of the highest cost card in your hand. Kinda cool, but it also is kind of a dead giveaway that you have a Sith in there, so I don't know about that. Feels a little bit on the wonky side. Could actually end up seeing a little bit more play in some board buff pallies, like getting your Amidas down nice and early, getting your what's her face, the 5 mana that casts spells twice, the pally tourist, Lynessa. That might be something interesting, but for now it's a little bit questionable. We also have Twilight Medium, and this thing used to cost 6 mana, now it's going to be costing 5, and it's also losing -1/-1 in terms of stats. I'm not sure this changes way too much for the cards. The effect is definitely strong, but it's also kind of random. But it's not going to be random if you actually combo it off with the 4 mana legendary that shows you what your next 2 top decks will be. So a well-timed Twilight Medium can definitely be quite powerful. So there's that. And we also have another Priest/Demon Hunter card, Nightshade T. It used to cost 2 mana, dealing 3 damage to a minion and 2 damage to your hero. Now it's going to be costing 1 mana, and it's going to deal 2 damage to a minion and your hero. And this could actually make this card somewhat viable in the self-damaging Pirate Demon Hunter with the Tourist Arana. Nailed it. So that could be something to look out for. Still feels a little bit wonky, but you could also actually deal the 2 damage to the 2/4 Pirate of your own to get that extra bit of damage like that, or you can also use it as a control tool, so there's that too. Kind of an interesting concept, might be interesting to look at. And lastly we have Convincing Conman. Old Battlecry, replay the last card you've played from another class. New Battlecry, replay the last card you've played from a non-rogue class. Honestly, those are the same. What's the change here, guys? Am I too dumb? I honestly don't get what the change is. Like, was this enabling some, like if you discover this through somebody else, was this a problem for you or something? I don't know. I really don't get it. Like, is this supposed to help the card be a viable discover option for some other classes? Is that the bright idea? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, but I'm not seeing this one, and I don't think this changes much for the card playability either. That's about it for the standard changes. For the Hearthstone changes, that is. Battlegrounds is also receiving quite a lot of stuff. We don't cover those around these here parts, however. We can also see some bug fixes and game improvements at the bottom. Progression fixed a bug where players could get Demolition Renovator from random standard card grant rewards, like end of season rewards and arena winnings. Affected players will be given a compensatory dust grant in an update after the patch is live. I guess that's kind of cool. That card is supposed to be free, right? This is gonna right that wrong. We also have a bug where Crane Game was accidentally given the Shadow Spell School. What the hell? Fixed a visual bug where a language hacker's name wasn't capitalized correctly in his Mage Deck Recipe Dex title. Sorry, language hacker, I guess. Very important. And lastly, we have a Pitting, Carefree Cookie, and Bayfin Bodybuilder against each other will no longer cause an infinite loop and crash. Now Bodybuilder is capped at 15. I don't even know who Bodybuilder, like, what was that thing even? Bodybuilders, I don't know, man. I don't know. Either way, that's it for the patch. Definitely believe that Zilliax Warrior is gonna be not seeing much play anymore. It's gonna have to evolve in something else or die miserably. Lamplighter decks should still remain really strong. Combo Druid should still remain really strong. And as for the buff cards, we should be seeing some new stuff. Definitely have a lot of potential with Razzle Dazzler. The Raimake Cleaver should be seeing some play in Highlander Warrior, I'd assume. Button should be seeing a bunch of play. Tsunami could enable some auto-cast decks like that. Service Ace might see some play. Highlander Priest, yuck. Might also see some play. And yeah, the Demon Hunter, self-damaging Demon Hunter, might also be seeing some extra support like this. But yeah, do let me know in the comments what you guys think. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, a like and a subscribe would definitely be appreciated. And don't forget you can hire for some Hearthstone coaching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.